If tomorrow all the things were gone I worked for all my life, I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my God above for living here today. The flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died and gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Hi, welcome to Citizen Watch, where your voice matters. My name is Allison Salinas. We had a little bit of technical difficulty getting the sound and video and audio to cooperate. So I want to thank you guys for jumping on. I just clicked on public on my Facebook page for the live, so everybody should be able to see it. If you'd like to join me tonight for Citizen Watch, where your voice matters, so you can go to Allison L. Salinas or Citizen Watch, where your voice matters on Facebook. So if everybody will jump on, I want to give a warm welcome to my guest. Patrick Keegan is with me tonight. So he is running for the infamous position of mayor of Chicago against Lori Lightfoot. So I've had an opportunity to speak with him several times, and he's become a very good personal friend of mine. I'm excited to have him on the show. He's an outstanding man, and he will take Lori Lightfoot down. So I want to welcome Patrick Keegan to Citizen Watch. Hi, Patrick. How are you doing?
Great, Allison. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing fabulous. We had a heck of a time getting started. We're a little late, but that's okay. Better late than never.
You got that right.
So I did have to switch my Facebook to public to make sure everybody can see it. So if you want to go ahead and hit share on that video on your page, you can link it. You can share the video. If you go to my Facebook page, you can go on under the video where we're live and hit share, and then it'll share it to your page if you'd like. Great. So we're going to get started, guys. It's going to give everybody a chance to jump on. But Patrick, I want you to introduce yourself. Tell us who you are and a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, hi, my name is Patrick Keegan. I feel Chicago needs change, and that's why I'm running for mayor of the city of Chicago in 2023. I think I've got a great agenda, a great vision to help people, help the city. And Chicago is one of the greatest cities in the U.S., and we need to bring it back. And so that's my vision, that's my goal, and I'm determined to make Chicago better and make America great again.
Wow. Well, everybody likes that slogan. Yes, so I love your hat, by the way, Patrick. It's an amazing hat. So let's make Chicago, Illinois, and America great again.
Yes, yes.
Okay, wow. So Lori Lightfoot, what are your plans? You say you want to make it great again and you want to fix Chicago. How do you plan to do that? That's a little broad of a question, so let me narrow it down a little bit. What are the top 3 things you would like to change right now, if you could?
Well, the first thing I'm going to address as mayor of the city of Chicago is mental illness. I think we need to help the people suffering from mental illness, whether it's ADD, bipolar, whatever it is. I think mental health is a serious issue in America today and in Chicago. So I plan on focusing. That's my number one priority. My second priority is stop the crime and violence. It's out of control. It's out of control. And we need to make Chicago a safe place to live. We want visitors from all over to come visit Chicago and feel safe. And I don't think they feel safe right now. So I'm going to make Chicago safe again and stop the violence. And my third agenda is to lower taxes. Everybody's tired of paying too many taxes. You can't afford to live in the city anymore. It's crazy. You can't afford to have a business in the city. It's just not right. So we got to work on the tax system in Chicago. And I plan on lowering taxes for my people of Chicago.
Awesome. Well, I know one of the things, as you know, I'm running for U.S. Senate against Tammy Duckworth. So one of the things that I've heard from my voters is that, you know, Chicago's not what it used to be. It's not the fun, loving, windy city that everybody, you know, grew up in and cared about. And one thing I'm really big on is unity, and unity with the people, and unity in Chicago. Violence is a big issue, and the killings and the children are not safe, and families are being ripped apart. They're, you know, pinned against each other sometimes with gang violence or whether it be Antifa, BLM, or just the fact that, you know, Lori Lightfoot seems to, sorry guys, I'm having a little bit of problems with my earbuds. Lori Lightfoot seems to not care. She just lets it run rampant, and nobody wants to go there, and people are leaving just like they are in Illinois. So it's scary. So when you talk about getting rid of the crime and violence, what does that plan look like to you? How do you do that?
Well, first, I think the most important people and the hardest job is a police officer in Chicago. Those people have a tough job, make split decisions, and I back the police. I back the blue. So I'm going to get together with the FOP, the sheriffs, and all the unions, and hopefully solve the crime problem. I have a plan. I'm not going to tell you right now, but I have a plan to make Chicago safe and stop the shootings and the violence. So that's my mission as mayor.
Awesome. Well, I know you said you can't tell me, and I know the reason why is because, number one, you're coming out super early, which, if I'm correct, this is your first kind of almost public appearance in front of social media about being mayor. Is that correct?
Yeah, and that's why I want to thank you, Allison. We built a relationship and a friendship, and that's what love's all about. That's what life's all about. And so, you know, you got to really just focus on the right things. We got to love one another, love people. I don't care what gender, race, color you are, what belief you have in God. I believe in God. I'm very strong in my faith. And I just think we got to help. People are hurting these days. They're really hurting. And we got to help those people. You got to help the homeless off the street. You got to help the drug addict off drugs, counsel them, get them a place to live, give them shelter, give them food. And that's going to be my mission.
Awesome. So tell me a little about, we're going to jump a little bit. You have a charity, or is that correct? Is that, did I say that right?
Yes, you did. Me and my brother, Kevin Keegan, he's the CEO of All Clean Services. Me and him started a partnership and a charity called Hope is Here, the next chapter. And I came up with that name because I want to give people hope. Hope is here. It's going to come. And the next chapter. So giving people hope to move on with their life, and the next chapter of life is going to get better. And that's what I'm going to address, is the mental health issue and help those suffering, because a lot of people are in pain. This COVID caused a lot of depression. And let me tell you honestly, Allison, I suffered from mental illness all my life. I have ADD and I have bipolar. It's treated now and everything's good. But if untreated, it can be very dangerous. And there's a lot of people hurting out there. And so we need to give more counseling, open up more doors to the people who are suffering, and the homeless people, the person with, different mental health issues. So that's what I'm going to address.
Right. And I know we normally save questions for the end, and it wasn't a question, but someone did bring up a good topic that I do want to bring up in the comment section. And by the way, guys, if you're listening live, there is a comment section, so feel free to drop your comment questions. Questions we'll reserve at the end for Patrick. But if it's a comment like Carmen Sims has, we'll bring that to attention right away. They said child trafficking should be right at the top of that list too.
I totally agree with that. It's a shame. I mean, child sex trafficking, that is wrong. We got to come down harder on these people that do that. We got to come down harder on criminals who commit crimes, and we can't let them just get out a jail free card. We need to stay strong on crime, and if they know that the penalty's severe, they're not going to do it. So that's what I plan on doing, is help those who think they can get away with it, not me as mayor. I'm going to clean up the city and make crime one of my main priorities, to stop the shooting, stop the violence, stop the gang wars. And hopefully I can address that issue and get your vote and, make Chicago a great city. I've lived in Chicago for 43 years of my life. I lived on Michigan Avenue. I lived on Wells Street in Old Town. I lived in North Lakeview. I love the city. I used to love going to the city. Right now, I don't love going to the city. And a lot of people feel that way. My friends, my constituents and stuff, they just don't feel safe. And we got to change that.
Absolutely. So let's back up, I know, kind of circle. Oh, I don't like that term, circle back. That reminds me of someone else. But we do have to circle back about your charity. So what was your inspiration for that charity?
My inspiration was, like I said, I've suffered from mental illness all my life, ADD and bipolar. And Hope is Here is going to help people with mental illness, disabilities, helping the drug addict get clean and sober, have training for jobs for them, and help those people. I've lived all my life with mental illness, and it's treatable, but you really got to stay on top of it. You really do, because it's a tricky thing. And there's a lot of people that can't get the help they need. They can't afford health care. They can't afford to go to a psychiatrist or a psychologist. So I need to make it affordable for the people to be able to get the services they need and the help they need.
Absolutely. Definitely. So I think we both can agree that our system is broken in Illinois. Yes. And definitely in Chicago in general. Now, there's a lot of people downstate that say, separate Chicago, draw the line, that kind of thing. A lot of Republicans believe that. But at the same time, I've spoken to people in Chicago that are like, we don't want to be separated. We just want better leadership. So how do you fix a broken system when, number one, the funds are so misappropriated for so many years? And now the cops, like you brought up police officers, and we both back the blues. So that's a major thing with both of us.
Yes.
But right now the cops, they don't even want to work because they're not respected. They're not, they're not backed by the government that runs Chicago. They're not backed by Lori Lightfoot. They're not backed by the people that they need to be backed by. And they're being told to stand down and back down. Now, with such a broken system, I know you said you don't want to reveal your plan, and I understand because it's so far early from your race. But
I have a plan, but I just don't want to reveal it.
No, that's fine.
Let me share a personal story. My cousin's a Chicago police officer. My other cousin's a sheriff. So I understand the heartache they go through, the stress on the job. It's a stressful job. And I pray every morning for them to come home safe, and their parents do too. And that's the key, because they have a tough job. It's the world's not like it used to be. So, I just want to stand with the police and stand with the citizens and say, we're going to make this place safe. We're going to make Chicago safe. So everybody's got to come together is what it's got to be. You got to come together. I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care if you're an independent or a libertarian. We all need to work to do a better job of loving each other, making everybody happy again and safe again.
Absolutely. So, what does your campaign look like? What are your hardcore values? What are your like? When I ran for U.S. Senate, well, I'm running currently, but when I started and I filed, I came up with two things. My two things were justice and integrity, and that I would answer all questions, which I'm kind of paying for that one, but I enjoy it because I know that politicians have a habit of not answering questions. And I know your race is 2023, but my race is now because it's in 2022. So with that being said, how do you personally handle if someone said, I guess the biggest gripe is, well, people don't answer the questions. I was talking to someone earlier and they said, well, I asked such and such a question and they beat around the bush. And so what are your two main goals? I know what your three main points are that you want to fix in Chicago, but I don't know your personal goals with the voters.
What my personal goals with the voters is this: we need to bring family values back. When I was a kid growing up, my father used to take the phone off the hook from 5 to 7. That was family time. We discussed, how was your day? Are you having a problem with anything? What's going on in your life? My parents got to know me and what I was doing and helped me through that. And these days, family values have really gone out the window. We need to get back to bringing the family together, to having open discussions with our kids about different topics. What's going on in your life? Are you having trouble with this? Can I help you in any way? And if we bring back family values, this world's going to be much better off.
Absolutely.
And second off, again, I think we just need to stay focused again and work all together. We got to work together. We got to put our differences aside for the people of America and the people of the city of Chicago. And I shake hands with everybody. I meet a lot of people on a daily basis. And I like to listen. I'm an open listener. I like to hear everybody's view. I have an open mind. And so listening to people's struggles or even their accomplishments, I get the feeling for people and what they're thinking and what's going on in the city of Chicago and how can we make it better? How can we make the city of Chicago better? And that's what I plan on doing as mayor of the city of Chicago in 2023.
Awesome. Well, that's some pretty good answers. So I do have another question for you that I thought of. When you say make Chicago better, one thing that downstate Illinois complains a lot about, a lot of voters, I've heard it time and time again, is this: the votes aren't fair in Chicago. You have to get, like in my race, everybody's told me, you've got to get Chicago if you want to win. Well, what about Central? What about downstate? What about south of I-80? Excuse me. But, what about that? So how do you plan to fix that part of it? How do you plan to make it fair across the board when it comes to elections for voter integrity?
I think we have to put in a system in place to have a fair and honest election, is what I know. There's been a lot of talk about different things.
Excuse me.
You okay? God bless you.
Yeah, sorry.
I think we need to strengthen our security at the ballot box, our security at the voter booth, and take that serious because, both parties claim fraud at one point. The Republicans and the Democrats, they're both equally blaming each other and saying the other one's cheating. So we got to bring back integrity again in the system of voting in Illinois.
Absolutely. And there's questions about, sorry guys. There's questions about how to do that and what works, what doesn't work. And that's been a real struggle for people. People this time around in 2022 are like, why should I vote? It's not going to matter. And the answer that I've always told everybody is I understand that you think it doesn't matter, and I understand why you think it doesn't matter. But if you don't go out and vote, then you're really letting the Democrats win, because then your voice isn't even being heard at all.
I agree. As an American U.S. citizen, I think your obligation, my obligation is to vote. That's what America was based on. But everybody is so tired of the bickering, and they're not going out to vote because they feel either their vote won't count, or they're just tired of the system. They're tired of politics. And so I need to bring back people to say, come vote. Let me hear your voice. Let me hear your views on things. And I have an open mind, and I'll listen to everybody. And so that's what we need to do. We've got to put confidence back in the vote, is what we need to do.
Absolutely. So let's talk about a little bit of the bills that are going on with the school systems. Wow, I don't even know where to start. The sex ed bill drives me absolutely bonkers. I don't think our kindergartners, first grade, second grades have any business seeing pornography in their school books. That's kind of insane, to say the least. So where are your views when it comes to our school systems and how the parents are having less and less interaction and say in their child's education? What would you do with that, being mayor?
I think the most important thing is the parents are the most important person. Their voice should be heard. Their voice should be heard. And so we need to help the parents and talk to them about the topics and listen to them and their needs for their child. We got to keep an open mind about that. And so once we hear the concerns or the issues they have in school, it needs to be addressed definitely. And I need to clean up the school system and make some changes, and I plan on doing that.
Now, I guess the biggest question is, how do you plan to make changes with the unions?
The unions are a very important part. The unions work, and we need to make sure that they work the right way. Okay. My father said, the unions really back in the day were very helpful. They helped the workers. But I think now the unions aren't as important, because I think the people feel who are with the unions they're not doing the job for them. And so, that's an issue that I have to have an open discussion with my staff, chief of staff, my team that I'm assembling. And those are issues. I'm not a career politician, Allison. You know that.
I know.
So I want to put my knowledge in politics, my standards in politics. And like I said, we've got to all work together. You got to love one another, and you've got to help people. Let's all work together and solve this problem and make Chicago great again and make America great again.
Absolutely. Well, one more question, and then we're going to open it up to questions from the public if we have any. So sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. And it's okay, because not everybody can jump on at one time. So when we were talking about the school union, the unions and how corrupt they are and how the unions have made it, I guess the easiest way to say this is between Pritzker and Lightfoot and the unions, they have pissed the parents off to the point where parents are storming board meetings. They're making members of the board leave, and they're putting parents in those seats. I've watched several videos of that happening, where they're done. They're done with their voices, with their own children not being heard, and they're done with this and that, and they're done with the sex ed bill. They're done with the government belittling the police and not letting them do their job. There's a million different things we've already talked about. But aside from whatever plans you have for Chicago when you become mayor in 2023 and take Lightfoot out of there for us, because I know everybody that watches this show wants her gone. They want Pritzker gone. They want all the corrupt Democrats gone. They sure want Adam Kinzinger gone in the 16th district. And I always give a quick shout out to my buddy Jack Lombardi, who is running against him. He's a real good friend of mine, powerhouse. He's ready to take Kinzinger out. But the importance is, to me, with you as becoming mayor of Chicago, is what sets you apart from any other candidate that would run?
You know what sets me apart? I'm a real person. I've lived life. I came from homelessness to now CEO of a company. So I want to give people hope. Hope is here, that anybody can make it with hard work, determination, and help. And so I'm going to be different than any career politician. Okay, I'm not a career politician. So I think I have an open mind and a good agenda to help the little guy and to just help people again who are suffering, and bring back the old school way, the old traditions that we have. Bring those back. And I know, like, I'm going to go back to your the issue with the parents in schools. They're frustrated. Parents are frustrated.
Oh, they're beyond frustrated. They're done. They're done.
They've had enough.
Yeah, they're done.
To here now. And it's boiling over. And what that does is it brings a lot of hate and anger to this world. And that's
right.
What we don't want. We don't want hate and anger. We want love. And, and that's what we got to do. People are frustrated with a lot of things in politics. A lot of people don't want to vote because they've had enough. So we got to bring back the integrity of politics. And I'm a fresh face and a new guy in town, the new kid in town. And I think I have a great perspective. I've been there and I've walked many miles and had challenges throughout my life. And I'm open about it. Anybody can ask me any question. I'm open about who I am and what I stand for. And I don't hold back. I work hard at something. When I put my mind to it, I'm determined to get it done. And I'm going to get it done.
Awesome. Well, another thing, someone mentioned, and me personally, I have a very strong view about this. I personally think Common Core needs to go. I think the testing needs to be revamped to where students, testing's fine to see where students stand for in your education system. But the pressure of the tests and what they have become is beyond ridiculous. I remember when it didn't matter how you wrote 2 + 2 = 4. And now with Common Core, there's a million different ways to do it. And the teacher, when my children were younger, we went to, I guess it's a meet and greet kind of with a teacher at the beginning of the year. And she sat down and said, okay, this is how we do this. And I'm looking at it going, why can't you just do it this way instead of this way and different, so that's where Common Core comes. So where do you stand on Common Core?
You know what, Allison? Growing up and living with ADD, school was very challenging for me. It was
I have ADD too.
Yeah, so it was very challenging for me. I remember my first grade teacher wrote on my report card. She says, Pat would be very successful if he could just sit still. And that really, I look back now and I say, wow, she really was onto something. I was a restless kid. Kids are restless. And a lot of kids suffering with ADD and autism and any other disability, we need to help those people. We need to, basically care for them. And so I think in the school system, there needs to be some changes done. And we can do it with a lot of hard work and with a lot of support from everybody. If we work together across the aisle, I think we can get it done and change the system.
Absolutely. So I don't really see any questions so far, but we're going to give everybody a minute to pop up. I know Carmen Sims has been an advocate tonight, so she's popped on a couple comments. She was the one she mentioned child trafficking, school unions, Common Core, education. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to pop in the comments. If you don't do it within the next minute or two. We're going to move on. And at the end, and so you can rewatch it. So you can post your comments or questions there, and I'll try to tag them as we go. I try to always keep up with that even afterwards. So, and I don't really see, let me check real quick. Okay, I don't see any questions right now. And that's fine. Sometimes we have them, sometimes we don't, no big deal. But so I want to give everybody a chance to follow Citizen Watch Where Your Voice Matters. We come on every week at 7:30 Monday nights. I have a new guest every time. And next week, we're going to do a roundtable discussion. I love those. So I'm going to actually invite Patrick Keegan back because he's got some of his competitors coming on that he's just now finding out about. So I got some messages a minute ago. People want to jump on. So this will be fun.
Yeah, Allison, I'd love to come back and join your,
absolutely.
We both know each other's story. And,
Yes.
I think I consider you a great friend, and I'm backing you. I'm endorsing you. Trust me.
Well, thank you.
And you got my endorsement, and all my friends and whoever we can do to help you unseat Tammy Duckworth.
Well, thank you. You guys have a blessed night, and we will see you next week on Citizen Watch, where your voice matters. God bless and good night.
God bless you, everybody. Stay safe. May God bless you and watch over you.